Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 2022 New Moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Taurus be affected by the January 2022 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hanged Man, and we have the moon. So this moon is really having us see everything really quite differently. So the moon also represents Pisces energy. So if we have Pisces within our natal chart, that's going to come through very powerfully at our root, at the root of our personality. Then we have the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, amplifying the Pisces energy, but also letting us know that we are warriors for our heart, for our emotions. There is going to be a need here to really stand in our emotional awareness, our emotional truth for our own personal self. It doesn't mean that we have to stand against other people or, tell other people exactly what we are feeling or why we're doing certain things. There's going to be just a need inside to be like, no, but this is me, and it's going to be really quiet at first and then build up. Then we have the King of Cups, which makes perfect sense, that build up. And the King of Cups is, again, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And the way I always see the King of Cups is just the sense of, I need to rule myself. I need to rule my world, my understanding, and I can't rule other people. There's no way that I can have control over anybody else but me. And so here, as I'm embracing me, I'm understanding me more and more. It brings us to our emotional self. We have the Four of Cups, and we have Judgment. There's something that we've been waiting for. There's a sense of slumber, through both of these cards. So there's a sense of something that we're awakening to during this time. There's going to be a sense where we think our gifts should be coming from, and we're going to be quite surprised where they actually wind up coming from. And there's going to be this awakening of ourselves, this awakening of what we desire. We're hearing a call, and we're seeing ourselves move more assuredly towards it and more assuredly towards ourselves. The Nine of Swords and the Hierophant is in the public arena. So the Hierophant is us, Taurus. We're represented by the Hierophant in the major arcana. We're represented by the Pentacles in the minor arcana. The Nine of Swords is worry, doubt, and fear. We're going to have a tendency to not only second guess ourselves, but third, fourth, fifth, etc. guess ourselves. And we can really make this quite difficult for us during this time, during the way that we're moving forward, because we're going to be thinking, well, I just have to get everything right. Like everything just has to be right and the way that it's supposed to be. It's going to be anxiety and worry just tumbling through our heads over and over and over again. Yet, as we embrace our self, our desire, our certainty, we start to see us moving forward in the sense of, but this is me. Like, this is my ritual. This is my routine. This is my desire. This is my testament to my strength and my security and who it is that I am. And I can't change who I am for anyone. And that's a real pivotal moment for us, especially if we don't really fit in, or if we've found over the years that we don't fit in the way that we thought we were supposed to, or the way that the rest of the world seems to. And it's kind of like, why fit in when you can stand out? And I know that's so easy to say, but it is so hard to be able to do, and to stand in our own truth, in our own understanding, and say, but this is me. This is me. And I'm proud of who I am. And I'm celebrating me. And maybe one day others will celebrate me. But right now, I definitely am not ashamed of anything about me. And I'm moving forward in that strength and in that power. It moves us to the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It's the Queen of Cups. Emotional manipulation, we're going to be very susceptible to that. We're leading a lot with our heart here. We have a lot of masculine energy coming forward as we're leading with our heart, but there's a real sense of emotional manipulation, a real sense of, but if you loved me, you would, or if you understood me, you would. And this is going to be a time where it's like, okay, but I'm going to step back. I'm going to step back and I need to see. I need to see what's right, and I need to see what isn't for me and my desires and who I am and where I'm headed for myself during this time. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And we have two right here, and they're both the solar plexus chakra. It's determination and it is self-mastery. We are determined to master ourselves and our desire. We are determined to not be overburdened, right? But this determination of self-mastery does give us a certain burden, because the salmon is swimming upstream for that death and rebirth, for that, breeding place where it goes to lay its eggs. So here there's an end and there's also a new beginning. And that's what we're really going to feel within ourselves. There's an end and a new beginning coming forward. And it's helping us master ourselves. It's helping us see ourselves. It's helping us be empowered and really move forward in the way that we've longed to for quite a while. So that's going to be really good. And also listening to our gut, listening to ourselves, that's going to be really powerful. Now, on the 2nd of January, we have the new moon in Capricorn. It's the first new moon of 2022. And let's talk about this astrologically for a little bit. The sun is conjunct the moon, which is how the story always begins with the new moon. This brings an end of one cycle and the beginning of another. It brings a burst of energy with it, insight, and intuition. So we feel really powerful during a new moon. We also find that a new moon is a time for emotional balance. Things become more balanced during this time. We see things more clearly. The new moon is going to be trine Uranus. Now, Uranus rules Aquarius. So if we have Aquarius energy within our natal chart, it comes through very powerfully here because Uranus rules Aquarius. So the new moon is trine Uranus. This is a wonderful alignment to start the new year with. It just really is. This is a wonderful new moon to start the new year with, because it makes us open-minded, it makes us adventurous, it makes us willing to try new things, and lets us see the progress of our lives. It's not like I'm sitting here in stagnation, which is something that we're afraid of. We're afraid that we're not moving towards our potential, and that's going to be something that we need to kind of back off on ourselves with. There's beauty here, and there is purpose here, and there is power here. We will find that we need to be self-aware, but we won't be self-conscious, okay? And we need to be self-aware but not self-conscious at the same time. So a lot of times when we are self-aware, where we are really embracing ourselves, we become really hyper self-conscious. But this is a time where we need to embrace and really express our uniqueness, our creativity, our quirkiness, our quick wit, our insight, our ideas. It's going to be very important for us. We will be happy to see that this is a time of unexpected but positive change, and that this can bring new freedom, because Uranus is all about freedom. This makes it more comfortable for us to step out of our comfort zone and into the world that we want to be living, into a world that we long to be a part of. We will also find that negative reactions by others, it's not that big a deal. It isn't going to be something that really impacts us, that really holds us back. It doesn't bother us in the same way. We will also find that we pick up things very quickly during this time, especially things that are maybe we think a little bit more technical than we are. So like with computers, astrology is one of the things that we pick up easily during this time. It's also going to be like languages and communications and insights and things that will broaden and free ourselves and our world. So that's going to be something that's really quite good during this time. Then the new moon is also going to be in conjunction with Lilith, which is known as the Black Moon. Now this can lead to a darker energy coming forward, and this is something that we have to be mindful of, because we can find ourselves putting things off or simply becoming experts at procrastination, which is putting things off, but it's not going to be just for a little bit of time. It's like, no, I can procrastinate forever until I make it so that I have to drive myself insane to get the task done, or just completely forget about it. Lilith represents what we want to ignore within ourselves, within our lives. It's kind of like what I can kind of put on blinders with and not have to see. But what we will find here, is that running away never solves a problem. It never does. And so even though it might be overwhelming for us, we need to step into the energy of, why am I running away from this? What am I procrastinating for? Why am I procrastinating? Now, is it because we don't feel well? Is it because we are exhausted? Is it because we need to take maybe some time off and just connect with ourselves? That could be. But we also might need to pace things so that we have the time to do so, instead of running ourselves and, burning the candle at both ends, running ourselves ragged. Now, Sagittarius is in Aquarius. Now, as we know, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So this is an interesting place for Sagittarius to be, because Sagittarius and Aquarius are quite different. Sagittarius rules Capricorn energy, right? This new moon is in Capricorn. So Capricorn energy is really quite powerful here. We really do connect with it very, very well. But it conflicts with the energy of Uranus, which rules Aquarius, because Uranus wants to be free and Sagittarius is all about the rules. So this can bring the dark energy of Lilith more powerfully forward in our lives and dim the positive energy of Uranus, because Saturn represents restrictions, it represents responsibilities, it represents everything that we can't do because we have to do other things. Other things take precedence. And that can be what we just want to avoid. Like Lilith can really be making us want to avoid that, want to turn away from that. And so we have to be mindful of this energy during this time and look at our responsibilities not as burdens, but as part of the freedom of our journey of expression of what needs to be done, so that we can, what we don't want to do, so we can get to what we want to do within our life. This comes in conflict with the nature, again, of Uranus. Saturn comes in conflict with Uranus because Uranus is all about freedom and self-expression. But if we have the two coming together, now having these two be separate entities, that really does enhance the worry and the anxiety, which we're going to see manifest itself in the waking world for us. And what we have to see here is our responsibilities and our kind of wanderlust, freedom, expression, needing to come forward and needing to have practical plans to make that freedom, to make that expression, to make ourselves happy and positive and powerful as we're moving forward in our lives, or else we're going to find ourselves drowned by anxiety and feeling quite uncomfortable. Now, the new moon, in accordance to the stars, is conjunct the fixed star Nunki. Now, Nunki is an absolutely lovely star. Usually we'll get a really good reading and then the stars will be kind of wonky. But here, this star is really quite beautiful. It brings truthfulness, it brings optimism. It also brings the ability to connect with deeper knowledge, especially deeper spiritual knowledge. And according to the ancient Egyptian mathematician and astrologer, oh goodness, I'm going to mess up his name. Ptolemy, okay? Ptolemy, he says that the nature of Nunki is of the nature of both Jupiter and Mercury. Now that's important because Jupiter is the nature of triumph and of conquest and of hard work and diligence and luck. It's really quite beautiful. And Mercury is the energy of communication. So it's communicating what we need to have that triumph, to have that beauty lead us forward. And this moon, this new moon, is really having us see things quite differently. And we're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm seeing things so differently, I have to be wrong. This can't possibly be right. But what it's having us do is face a lot of the fears that we have that are keeping us held back, that are keeping us silent, that are keeping us from really embracing the road that we want. And we're starting to learn that we need to stand with confidence within ourselves. A lobster, if it is a large lobster, and it hasn't been, kind of tampered with, it's because it's built up confidence in the kind of lobster community, right? And so here, we're going to find that we need to build up confidence within our own community, but within our own self, within our own lives. We're looking at things, and there's going to be a tipping point. It's like, I won't settle for this anymore. I won't be, made to feel less than because of, and I'm stepping into my power, my insight, and my understanding. And it brings us inwardly to a place of intense emotions. And also, Pluto is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is all about spirituality. Neptune is all about our dreams and our hopes and our wishes. And that really does focus with water energy. And so that water energy is coming in here in the public arena, in ourselves. And it's going to bleed out into the public arena most definitely. But it's kind of like, what do I need to say that I love to move me forward? And what is it that I am fighting that isn't about what I love, what I want, what I need, but is about a negativity, a hurt, and a pain that I need to release? And as I'm moving forward in my passion and in my desire, what is it that I need to see more deeply and more honestly? Because it brings us to the Knight of Cups. It brings to the King of Cups. It brings us to that place where we realize, if I want this, I need to embrace me. Not everybody else, but I need to embrace me. I cannot rule everybody else. Have you ever tried to get a 2-year-old to do what you want them to do without, at times losing your mind? It's very, very hard. And if we can't control 2-year-olds, which I do know is the most violent age that a human being is, because the brain isn't developed in their little terrors, at times, how can we make other people do what we want them to do? If a child, especially a small child, brings their intentions forward so clearly that they can't hide it at all, well, what happens with the people who can? What happens as we get older, as we learn how to lie, as we learn how to sneak, as we learn how to, hide our true intentions? It means that we can think that we're ruling people. We can think that we're making them do what we want them to do or having them do what is best for them. They're still going to do what they want. And if we've ever been betrayed, if we've ever been lied to, if we've ever tried so hard to help a person forward and just to feel like we've been kicked in the teeth, we know this. And so this is a time where we say, you know what? I'm worried about me and my lane. I'm worried about what I desire, what I want, and how I'm manifesting forward within my life. And if people want to follow me, that's great. And if people don't, that's still great. Okay? I will love you. I will care for you. But I can't always take care of you. If you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying to cast people out into the street. I'm saying that there is a power of the heart that needs to move forward, and it needs to be connected with us. Because we can't let ourselves be put through the meat grinder time and time again. It moves us to the Four of Cups. We're looking for our dreams to come forward in one very specific way. And divinity is going to be handing us a gift, handing us an insight that opens up the doors for us, but it's not going to be what we're expecting. And yet it is going to be beautiful, but it's not going to be that same gold shimmery, gift that we think it should be. This is something that's handmade. This is something that is, it is something that we wouldn't look twice off if we didn't know the story behind it. And it moves us. Now, this could be something that is an extra burden that's put on us, that we feel like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to handle this? And it winds up becoming a blessing down the road. Some way it winds up opening doors, and it moves us to judgment. It moves us to hearing the call and awakening. So a part of us hears the call from our angels, from our spirit guides, however we see it, however we say it. And this awakens us. This moves us forward. The sleepers, the way the sleepers are described in Arthurian legend is they are the best fighters of Arthur, who are put to sleep, who are laid to rest and under a magic spell to rise when Wales needed them most. So this is a part of us that has been put to sleep to rise when our spirits, when our soul needs them the most, but also knows when to call. Also realizes that I can call on this power to help me, to guide me. The Nine of Swords, this is worry, doubt, and fear. in this deck, which I have linked in the description box, and I don't remember what exactly it is called. I think it's the Wandering Star Tarot. It says here, this is anxiety, worry, anxiety, worry. It's that loop of anxiety and worry running through our head. It's that loop of I can't because, I can't because, I can't because. And it's that chaos that keeps us up at night. It is that hurt, and it is that pain, and it is that disappointment that tries to rob us. And so here in the public arena, it's like if we don't face things emotionally head on, if we always think, okay, it's going to come in this direction, but I'm not opening myself up to the gift that I have within me, to calling on the power of me, then the chaos will always be. Because there's something more to us than meets the eye. And it's almost like saying, even if we're in a really bad situation, it's like, this isn't my it. This isn't my end. I remember very distinctly, and I know I shared this story before, so if you've heard it, do bear with me. But I was working retail, right? And I had this new manager, and she was a piece of work. And she looked at me, and she asked me, like, if I went to school and, all the stuff, and I told her. And she goes, wow, I didn't. She didn't even graduate high school. And she's like, and I'm your boss, and you're working for me, and you don't make as much money as I do, and you have all that debt. And she made me feel like this big. And I remember thinking, but this isn't my end. And I was so humiliated at that time, so upset within myself. And I thought, okay, that's it. That's it. That was the worry, doubt, and fear. That was the not calling on more within me than I knew. And it was letting those words really take root, because even now, they make me pause. And now I'm angry that I let them take root inside of me. But then they were just devastation. And so what we're going to see here is that we can think, okay, I'm supposed to be working towards, something one way. And we can find doors that open that we never expected. And that's going to be so important for us, Taurus, especially of this year of new beginnings, of this angel number year 222, a year of new beginnings, a year of new power. And it leads us to us. Here it says ritual, ceremony, tradition, structure, knowledge, wisdom, teacher. That is what we are. We are ritual. We are ceremony. We are structure. We are tradition. We are a bedrock. We are a cornerstone. We are the linchpin. And there is power and there is beauty to us, Taurus. Do we see it? Not all the time, no. Do we embrace it? We need to. This is a time to realize our worth and not let anybody steal it away from us. Let us see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And I do apologize if you can hear the fireworks going off in the background. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So at the bottom here, our Lunar message is, don't let your past hold you back. Surrender. Surrender to the power of the present. And in astrology, they say our life purpose is echoed between the North and the South lunar node. This is the South lunar node. Our purpose in life is being echoed forward towards us. Are we surrendering to it? And remember also in astrology, the South lunar node is seen as the tail of the dragon. The North lunar node is seen as the head. So the tail is the balance. The tail is the balance, is the structure that the head moves off of. So this is going to be a time for us where we surrender to what balances us. We surrender to what helps us see what we desire, what we need, who we are. We surrender and we become greater than we imagined. It moves us to our inner lunar message, which says nothing will come of the situation, the unexpected. What we think is going to happen, because the void, of course, is telling us that at this time, there are certain times during the lunar cycle, right, where we have a void of course, and the void of course is what we think will be happening and what actually happens. So things usually go pear-shaped when we have a void of course time. It's only usually a few minutes, but what we expect to happen is not what happens during that time. This is a time, this is a moon, to expect the unexpected. We're going to think we have control, and the only thing that we really have control over, or any semblance of control over, is ourselves. So that's going to be something to be aware of. It moves us to our lunar emotional self, and this is have faith in your dreams. Abundance. If we have faith in our dreams, if we have faith in our awakening, in what we deeply desire, we start to call forward abundance. Now, it might not be the riches and the multiple homes and the fancy cars that we want, right? That we think, oh, okay, this is what success means. But it's the abundance for our soul. It's the abundance of our deep want and connection. You know, everybody's told to be extraordinary. Everybody's told that they are extraordinary. It's like everybody gets A's now, right? Well, when I was a little kid, I didn't get all A's at all in school, especially in grade school. And yet we're being told that being ordinary is one of the worst things you could possibly be. But living in a life that might be calmer, that might be more subtle, but that is perfectly right for you, what is wrong with that? It moves us to our Lunar Message for our public arena self. And it says, balance the spiritual and the practical. Attraction. So as we're balancing the spiritual and the practical, which as a Taurus we need to do, we need to have a practical plan for our spiritual awakening, for what we deeply love and what we deeply need. This brings us the attraction of our joys, our hopes, our wishes, what we desire within our life. What are we attracting? And how do we calm the chaos? Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Wands. This is immature passion. This is the idea of grandeur without the hard work. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is play, the heart chakra. People don't realize how important play is. Play is when we feel safe. We as human beings do not play and do not embrace play if we do not feel safe. And so here, as we're embracing play, as our hearts are telling us to laugh and to enjoy, they're also telling us to feel safe and to feel secure. And to find out why we don't, it moves us to our subconscious Lunar Message, which is don't let pride get in your way. Peace. Let there be peace. Because we are not letting pride hold us back and define us. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, and that's justice. That's Libra energy. That is Venus energy coming forward. We're ruled by Venus, Taurus, as is Libra. And so here we're balancing our world, our heart and our desire, our knowledge and our understanding. We're also being discerning with the energy that we let into our lives, that we embrace for ourselves. And this is saying, you know, that's right for me and that isn't. And I'm not being a jerk by saying so. I'm really embracing who I am. It brings us to our subconscious public arena self, not public arena, inner self, which has such a great effect on our public arena self. And it's the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands saying the doors are opening. The passion is coming. The purpose is leading us forward. Are we embracing it or aren't we? Are we walking towards that new horizon? Because that's what we're being called to do. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the Nine of Wands. We're tired. We're overwhelmed. This is listening to everybody. This is taking in everything. And if we listen to everybody and take in everything, we have a headache. Our body aches. We're like, oh my gosh, how do I? And what we're saying here, what Spirit is saying is like, know that you have fought hard. And listen to what your heart is telling you. Listen and stand on your own 2 feet. Do not be so hard on yourself. And do not take in the rest of the world and have that be your defining fact. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Knight of Cups coming through again. And here this says, proposal, quest, prospect, pride. How do we move forward in these new prospects, in what we desire, in what is proposed to us? How do we move forward in the energy that we want, in our heart, in our passion, in our desire? where does the world open for us? And how do we take what we love forward within that? All right. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace all the power and all the intensity that this new moon has to offer. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus, and may you have a blessed moon.